No, I was just going to say, in terms of the tokenization element, what blockchain technology ultimately allows, and this is ultimately tied up a bit with cryptocurrency, is that you could create a Kaizen token, and everybody could get it for free for the first 100 people. And basically, it could be a token. If you have more of the tokens, you unlock certain rewards, sort of like a Patreon system, but instead of being tied to paying more, it's tied to tokens and all of that. And look, let's say, you've gotten everything you wanted out of Kaizen. And I don't think that's the case. We're always learning and always educating ourselves. You could then go and sell those tokens to someone else who wanted to join the community and level up. I mean, another thing, Chris, is I'm sure your kids are, I don't know, but, let's say, do they play Fortnite? What video games are your kids playing?
I have a 16-year-old daughter who didn't get into the video game piece. And then I have a 10-year-old son who's still on FIFA. So he hasn't really made the jump to the multiplayer shoot-ups.
So here's very good. FIFA's the best. I've lost tons of hours to FIFA in college, and there's a reason I don't own video games anymore. But FIFA's a great example. Every year FIFA comes out with a new thing, and you're not able to port over all of your rewards previously. Well, if those were NFTs, and EA Sports, the company behind FIFA, utilized blockchain technology, your son wouldn't have to start from scratch every time FIFA came out. If he had unlocked that special Cristiano Ronaldo card from, FIFA 2023, when FIFA 2024 comes out, he still owns that, And, to look at it from like the Fortnite side, it's like all those skins people pay money on, they should be able to sell those on a secondary market. I mean, one of my favorite stories from being in crypto is this guy, Robert Breedlove, who's really into Bitcoin. He's a libertarian, looks at Bitcoin as financial freedom. But he told me that his aha moment was he realized it was in a certain way exactly what he did when he was a kid. So he played this game called Diablo as a kid. And Diablo is one of those role-playing games where you level up your characters. So what he would do is he would play it for hours on end, level up the character to the highest, which I think was 80 points, and then sell it to another player. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Now, if you could do this on the blockchain, you'd have a forever record of who the player was that actually leveled up. So you could say, oh, this person just bought this, just to come in here at a high level. So, I mean, I think the options are endless, and it's really a question of what is the use case you're trying to solve.
Well, that's interesting because I think, can we bring it down to small business or scale-up business? We got startups and scale-up leaders, some enterprise leaders, in the academy, and and of course there's Princeton Kaizen, and I'm kind of intrigued by this idea of, okay, I create a token. Now this is the subscription model, and tell me how you might adapt it to a blockchain token gating model. So you have the community, right? You're creating a community. It's free. Everybody can come in and sort of like kind of check things out a little bit. But that's the Harvard Business Review, 8 strategies of group decision making. That's the free content. It's meant to sort of build a knowledge base. Then the next step up is for us, it's the Edison program. It's doing some live teaching. It's doing interviews like this. It's mostly focusing on these kind of biz fix-it sessions that we're going to be rolling out, plus what we're calling systems of growth. And then the next stage up is, you want to get into a personal coaching plan, group coaching solution. How would a token focus model improve that sort of from a structural standpoint? I guess that's, maybe I'm just from a business development perspective, but it is something where I'm trying to understand and wrap my head. Why would a small business owner want to jump into this, kind of earlier than most?
Community building. I think that's really what it is. What you see with these tokens is that it creates a real sense of community around people. And it creates a one-on-one relationship between the business and the community. Because when you release these tokens, you're promising certain things to the community, what we like to call roadmaps in the NFT world. And especially like if you go into these discords for these NFT communities, these token communities, it's absolutely remarkable the friendships you see being made in real time in there. And what we have found is the ethos of Web3 is community, and it is everybody working together for a shared vision. And that could be something as simple as like you're a Taylor Swift fan and you want to see Taylor Swift just keep kicking ass and taking names. She could release a token and, cut out her album or her record label to a certain degree. She could just sell it as an NFT direct to her fans and, release certain upsells along with it. You buy the special edition, you get a special type of NFT. But what we've really seen is this element of community and bridging people across the world around a shared message, whether that be, around art or around particular types of value systems or around, political ideologies.
Well, Felix is he's actually a character off stage here. Felix, the producer, he asked this question: could you peg the Princeton Kaizen token to the dollar? And I do bring this up because his first concern would be the value of the Princeton Kaizen token tanking. And it's true. Like if you're putting money or you're acquiring services, and how do you maintain the value of this thing in in this particular marketplace where it's still fairly new? Is it like when you say non-fungible, it means you can't.
Well, non-fungible is that it doesn't change. It's immutably recorded on the blockchain. You can't change any of the metadata. You can't change the contract it's based on. But at the end of the day, these token communities are like any other economy. They're not pegged to the dollar. Most of cryptocurrency, especially when it comes to tokenization, is priced primarily in Ethereum, a little bit in Solana, Sol. Sorry, what was the question again?
I just like, can you peg it to the dollar? Could you how do you keep the value intact in an uncertain
Well, you keep the value intact by growing the community and delivering on the promises you made. But it functions like any other economy, where, it might be each token is worth 25 cents. But, if you own enough of them, that's great. In terms of, the actual economics of it, you're dealing with supply and demand like any other economy. But pegging it to the dollar is much more of a stable coin type of thing. So stable coins, for anyone who may not know, are looked at as the on and off ramps to fiat. So basically what you do is you buy, this was definitely the case back in the day, but you buy a stable coin, US Tether or USDT, US Digital Tether, or USDC, which is US Digital Coin. And those, the idea is for it always to be pegged to the dollar, because that way you always have a sense of the true value in terms of fiat. Because if we look at Ethereum or Bitcoin right now, the price is changing minute to minute, second to second.